Hey guys, what's up? This is coming from GNA today. So I've got two of the newest 22LR handguns. I've got the Taurus TX22 and I've got the Kel-Tec CP33. Both of these guns were announced at SHOT Show this year of SHOT Show 2019, and right now it's late March 2019, so they've only been on the market for a couple months now. And luckily I've been able to pick them up. The Taurus TX22 is a little bit easier to get. I've seen it in several places. The CP33 is definitely hard to get right now. They're saying they're going to ramp up production in May of this year, but I was lucky enough to pick up the one that came in at my local gun shop, so I was glad to get that. So since I've seen these at SHOT Show, I've been very interested in them and very interested in kind of comparing them and seeing their strengths and weaknesses. And so today I want to do a comparison, and we're going to do a versus video. And the way I like to do my comparison videos is I like to give a list of where one gun is better than the other, and then I'll give a list of where the other gun is better than the first one. And so I'll have strengths and weaknesses for both. So if you're watching this and you think I'm skewing towards one, don't worry. I definitely will bring it back and will give advantages of the other one because they both have their strengths and weaknesses. There's no doubt about that. I've got about 2,000 rounds through the TX22, and I've got about 1,500 rounds through the CP33. So I've been able to test them out in several different ways, shooting them suppressed, shooting them with different types of ammo, and just really running them both through the gauntlet. So in the comments below, let me know which one of these are you interested in? Which one would you like to add to your collection? So I'm going to go to the workbench and I'm going to show some things and show some video of me shooting these, but two very cool handguns. Let's do it. Okay, one area in which the CP33 is better than the TX22 is that it is more accurate, at least for me, in my sample size of one on each of these. So I was at an indoor range and I was shooting off this cheap Caldwell pistol rest, and at 25 feet, I loaded a full mag of the CP33 and a full mag of the TX22, and at 25 feet, I shot this group right here, 33 rounds into that. Each one of these squares is an inch. So then I shot a full mag of TX22, keeping everything the same, using the same pistol rest, at the same range. Everything else was held constant for the most part, which there's things not constant between the pistols, but this was a full mag of 16 rounds from the TX22. And to me, that right there just speaks pretty clearly about that. At least for me, again, that I can shoot better with this. So later in that same range session, I shot 10 rounds, just loaded up a magazine with 10 rounds of the CP33, and I shot 3 groups with the CP33. I think I moved this one back to 30 feet, and then I shot just 2 magfuls of the TX22 with 10 rounds each on that. Okay, now there's several reasons why I think the CP33 is more accurate. Number one, it has a longer barrel. It has a 5.5 inch barrel where the TX22 has a 4.1 inch barrel. Another important thing is the sight radius. On the CP33, sight radius is about 9 inches or so, whereas the sight radius on the TX22 is about 6 inches. Sight radius is how far it is from your rear sight to your front sight. Okay, and this is definitely a personal preference, but on the TX22 it has the standard 3-dot sights, and on the CP33 it has these fiber optic sights, which are a little bit finer, easier to see, and I can just shoot better with these sights. Okay, another thing that I think is a huge thing about this is the way that they actually operate. Okay, so on the TX22, obviously whenever you shoot, the whole slide is reciprocating. And when you do that, this barrel has not a lot of wiggle, but it has some wiggle. So when you shoot, and this is coming back, that barrel is able to move around a little bit. Whereas on the CP33, and it'd be kind of hard to see, I could take this little M-LOK rail cover off, but it is fixed. This barrel is fixed inside of the upper piece here. And what's reciprocating is just this bolt. It's basically acting like a rifle. You just have this bolt going back and forth, but the barrel stays absolutely fixed during action. Okay, and I know this really doesn't make a huge difference, but so I took that little M-LOK rail cover off, and you can see this is the barrel. It's kind of like a fat cigar barrel here on the CP33, whereas on the TX22, it has a lot smaller barrel, which I know that doesn't make a lot of difference. I just thought I would mention it, that this definitely has a bigger barrel. You can see the difference in the barrels. And of course, an area where the CP33 is better is that you have the ability to mount different optics, red dots, or whatever you want to put on all this Picatinny. And then you can mount a little piece of Picatinny on the M-LOK slot down here. Okay, now another area which is just obvious in which the CP33 is better than the TX22 is that the CP33 holds 33 rounds. TX22 at its max holds 16 rounds, so it's less than half of the CP33, which it's really big claim to fame. But what needs to be said about the TX22 is that most 22 pistols only hold 10 rounds. Some hold 12, but the TX22 definitely bumped that up. But if the TX22 bumped it up, I don't know what you would say about the CP33. It just went over the top. And I mean, come on, who doesn't want 33 rounds compared to 16 rounds? I mean, that right there is definitely an awesome thing. Okay, another thing, another area in which the CP33 kind of has an advantage, and this is definitely a subjective thing, but it is definitely more distinctive looking. Like if you're out on the range and you're shooting with this and somebody doesn't know what it is, they're going to look at that. They're probably going to ask you, what in the world is that? Another area in which the CP33 is better than the TX22 is that it has these little loops. These are metal loops right here that are attached inside here to the metal piece. And there's a possibility of there being a brace that can be clipped on here and have a pistol brace. And not only the possibility, but there's a company called Rev Arms, R-E-H-V Arms, and they have been teasing some pictures of them developing one on Facebook. They're not selling them yet, but they're showing them actually with them on and trying to get those to market. Another area in which the CP33 is better is due to the fact that the CP33 is very similar to the PMR30, and there's already some aftermarket things for the PMR30. It's been out for several years now. And at SHOT Show, I saw the Tandem Cross people had a flat trigger for the CP33. They had, I guess it was part of maybe the takedown pin or something, where there was like a shelf where you could put your thumb and a replacement for the safety where you could put your other thumb and hold it like that. So there's the possibility of there being more accessories for this. Another thing is both of these have good ejection, but the CP33 is insane. It literally will throw the shells 25 to 30 feet, where the TX22 is thrown about 6 to 7 feet. So this thing is getting rid of those shells with attitude. Another area where it's better is the sights on the CP33 are made out of metal, and not only that, they're actually Williams sights, which Williams makes good high quality sights. On the TX22, the sights are polymer. Okay, now reasons why the TX22 is better in some areas that it's better in. The number one area where it's better for me, and again, sample size of one on both of these, is, and I guess this is from real world stuff and it's from theory also, is that for me, the TX22 is more reliable. In the manual for the CP33, there's at least 2 pages dedicated to talking about just how to load the magazine. And there's several types of ammo that they say you probably shouldn't use. You really need to use 40 grain or larger. You don't need to use rounds that wobble or spin in the case. It says you'll have feeding issues. And so KelTec is saying in the manual, so I'm not saying anything that they wouldn't say. In the manual, they say don't use those types of ammo. The TX22, there's no specification for what kind of ammo you can use, and I've tried everything. I mean, I've tried subsonic stuff, which the CCI Quiet, not the new semi-auto, but it doesn't cycle it. But even with Federal Suppressor, the stuff right here that's 970, it cycles it. I've shot cheap stuff. I've shot M22, Remington Golden Bullet, Remington Thunderbolt, Winchester White Box. It's gone through that stuff like a champ. Now, of course, it's 22 ammo, so there's been failures because of the ammo, but this thing has no problems. It's very, very reliable. Now, on the CP33, I have had some issues, and it's related to basically what they talk about in the manual. The Winchester White Box, it just doesn't feed right in the magazine, and because of that, that's when things don't work right. The main problem I have is that it does not want to chamber the first round, and I've kind of worked through that. I think eventually kind of got it broken where it's not doing it quite as much, but still there's some ammo. It'll choke on the first round going to the chamber every single time. Mini mag especially, I don't know why, but on mini mag it does not want to chamber it, and I've tried 36 grain and 40 grain. But then there's all kinds of other stuff, even cheap stuff, that's worked fine. And there's good expensive stuff that's worked fine also. For instance, I'll take a single mini mag, 36 grain, put it one round in this magazine. Okay, and I'm on safe. I'm pointing it in a safe direction, and I will keep my finger off of the trigger. But I'm gonna try to chamber this round, and that is what it's gonna do. But then even if I'm like with this Browning, just taking a fresh round out of there, put it in here again. Unsafe, I'm in a safe area, pointing in a safe direction, and my finger will be off the trigger, but it'll chamber that just fine. Okay, another area where the TX22 is better is that it is way, way more ergonomic. And again, that's a subjective thing, I guess. But to me, whenever I grab the TX22, it feels like my palm is just filled up perfectly. Like I don't feel any gaps, I don't feel any voids in where the grip meets up with my hand. It just feels like it's perfect. Like it's just like I took a piece of modeling clay and just closed my hand on it, and that's exactly what I got. On the CP33, it really had to be, the grip had to be designed around the magazine, where the grip was designed around a person's grip. And so on this, when you grab it, it's kind of wide in this area. It doesn't narrow down here like the TX22, which feels more natural to me. It's just at an angle. It's basically like a triangle here. So whenever I'm holding this, it feels to me like there's a gap, like right in there where it doesn't come out to meet my palm. And I mean, it's good enough. It's definitely good enough. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying that the TX22 is just way, way better for me. Okay, so the CP33 I said is better because it's more distinctive looking. The TX22 is better because it's just more traditional looking. It just looks like a nice, polymer frame striker fire handgun. Okay, and we are clear here. There's no mag. We're clear. I actually prefer, I think, the trigger on the TX22 more than I do the trigger on the CP33. Now, the trigger on the TX22 is heavier. It's 5 pounds. The trigger on the CP33 is about 3.5 pounds. But the reason I like it better is because I feel like it has a better reset. It's a little bit mushier on the front side, and so in that regard, the CP33 is better. But after it fires, and then for reset, right there, and back to break, right there, it's very short from break to reset, from break to reset. At that point where I'm in the middle of a string, it just feels so much better. On the CP33, you got a little bit of take up. I can feel a little bit of creep, and it breaks right there. You got to go all the way there before it resets. They're both good. There's no doubt about that. And I know some people will definitely prefer the CP33's trigger, but to me, I don't know, it just feels so much better on that tiny little reset. resets right there. There's the reset. 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 Okay, another thing, and I'm not a gun designer, okay? I'm not a gun engineer. But for me, one thing that I like better about the CP33 is that there is actually a feed ramp leading up to the barrel. And again, I'm not an engineer or anything like that, but to me, I just like it better knowing that there's that to help guide a bullet up into the chamber. CP33 does not have a feed ramp. All it has is a feed ramp is this part of the magazine, which definitely doesn't go all the way up to the barrel. It's short by a little bit. Another area where I think the TX22 is better is that it does have a little bit easier takedown. Okay, pull the trigger. I mean, I can have it taken down in 5 seconds. On the CP33, it's easy, there's no doubt, but it does take a little bit more. So, just gonna put it on safe. You have to push this pin out right here. Now just pull the pin out, pull it apart, and then out comes the bolt and the operating handle, and it breaks down like that. So, it is easy on the CP33, but it's just so fast and so easy on the TX. All right, another area where the TX22 is better is that the magazines are drop free. Like that, I kind of had it hold to the side, but whenever it's not like it's rocketing them out, but definitely it will drop the mags very easy. Okay, the CP33, the mags are absolutely not drop free. It kind of in opposition to this being the CP competition pistol. I mean, you have to really push it in there, and yeah, there's no way it's drop free. You have to really pull. I don't know if you can hear it having to really kind of cram in there. It really fits in there super snugly, and I'm sure they did that for a functional reason, but it is not drop free at all. Okay, another reason the TX22 is better is that the magazines are way easier to load. Just put the rounds in. I mean, it does take a little bit of effort, but there's really no learning curve to it. It's just don't pull the follower all the way down. It's just a tendency and a habit of people just want to pull the follower all the way down. Don't do that. Just use this to take a little bit of pressure off. That's the way it should be done. The TX22, loading this mag, yeah, you're going to have to take a class to learn how to do this. I mean, after you kind of get it, you can get to going, but there definitely is a way bigger learning curve on learning how to load the CP33's mag. And I got my TX22 early enough that they were not including the little mag load assist tool. I don't have one. I haven't even seen it, but I've seen several people mentioning that, and some people on my YouTube videos have told me that they get that, so that's good. I think it's going to be kind of hard to get a speed loader for this mag. I just don't know how they're going to do it to make it where it's going to load it properly. Okay, another thing about the TX22 is that it's, and I've seen people mentioning holsters are to be made for it, but this is just going to comfortably fit into a holster. I mean, it's a full-size gun. Yeah, trying to put that in a holster, I mean, I'm sure something will be made, but definitely going to be a different situation than putting this into a holster. Okay, another reason the TX22 is better is that it's just a cheaper handgun. I bought mine for $309, I think. I've seen them at my local gun store for $299. I've seen them at Academy for $299. I've heard of people picking them up for $270, $280, and I imagine that'll end up being kind of the common price, is probably $250, well, probably $260 to $280. I bet it'll end up being around there. The CP33, I bought mine for $429, and that was a good deal. I mean, they've been ridiculous, of course, coming out. The first ones that came out, they were on Gunbroker, listed for $1,200, $1,500, just crazy stuff. I was not going to pay that, but I saw it locally for $429, where the MSRP is $475. I thought about 50 bucks off MSRP was a good deal, and so I snatched it up for that. The MSRP on the TX22 is $349, I think. So the TX22 is definitely going to be cheaper. And right now, as these have just come out over the last few months, the TX22 is going to be way easier to obtain than the CP33. Taurus can just put out a whole lot more than KelTec can, and so it'll be way easier to get this pistol than to get the CP33. Okay, and this probably is a subjective thing, but to me the polymer of the TX22 just feels higher quality. If you look inside the magwell here, there's ribs inside of here, but the polymer just feels higher quality. It feels like it's thicker. On the TX22, the polymer is kind of thin, and this kind of flexes a little bit. So the polymer definitely feels higher quality to me on the TX22. Okay, and another area where the TX22 absolutely wins out, and to me this is a big deal, but is the price of these mags. You can get the TX mag for 22 bucks, and right now this mag is going for 50 bucks. Okay, another area where the TX22 is better is, and it doesn't say this in the manual, but I saw the designer of the gun saying this at SHOT Show, that this is perfectly fine to dry fire this gun, that it's not going to hurt anything. On the CP33, I haven't seen any mention of that anywhere, and just would want to be more careful with it. So on this one, I'm pretty confident it's dry fire safe. On this one, you could probably get away with dry firing it some, but not over and over again like I have with the TX22. Okay, so now I just want to kind of go over a list of things where they're basically kind of the same. So the first thing is the warranty. When the TX22 first came out, in the manual, it states there's only a 1-year warranty on it. Well, it wasn't a month after they put it out that they changed that. And if you register it within 30 days of buying it, it has a limited lifetime warranty where you have lifetime of the original owner. As long as you can provide a sales receipt, you have a warranty on this for a lifetime. Same thing on the CP33. Original owner, provide sales receipt, you have a lifetime warranty on it. Okay, another area where they're similar is that they both have threaded barrels. Now on the CP33, the barrel actually extends out past the rail here, and it's already 1/2x28, so you don't have to have any adapter for it. So that's good. On the TX22, they send the adapter with it whenever you get it. So it comes in the box, so you're ready to go. But this itself is not 1/2x28. So to me, there's kind of advantages of both of those, is that on that one, there's no adapter needed. But on this one, if you didn't want to have this, have the adapter, have a suppressor, or anything like that, you could have this where there's nothing hanging off of the front. Okay, another area that's kind of different between them, but really probably doesn't really matter, is that the KelTec is a hammer fired where the Taurus is a striker fired. And I know striker fire is supposed to give you more consistent trigger pull every time, and I guess maybe you kind of do get that a little bit, but really it doesn't make that big of a difference. Okay, the CP33 weighs 25.5 ounces. The TX22 weighs 17.45 ounces. The safety on the TX22 is kind of hard to engage, which I kind of like. The Kel-Tec safety is, it's pretty good. It switches on with a real nice strong detent. You can hear it and feel it. This is kind of squishy on the TX22. Now on the CP33, if you're trying to drop the slide with the slide stop, I mean, I have to really pull that thing down to get it to close. All right, on the TX22, it closes pretty easy with the slide stop. Okay, and another thing that may or may not matter to you, but both of these guns are designed in America and built in America. So there you go. There's a comparison of the TX22 and the CP33. Two very cool handguns. They both have their good, they both have their bad, but they definitely are fun. There's no doubt about that. So let me know again in the comments which one you like, which one you would like to put in your collection. This is B coming to you from G&A Today. Thanks for watching.